Okay. Hello, hello. Are we running? Are we running still? Come on, manager. Manager's niggle you. Okay. So this is the hello, manager. What the hell are you doing? Slap, 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 clap, 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 slap, slap, slap. The manager's not dead. What am I not connected to the internet or something? What's going on here? Okay, I'm going to exit the manager, restart the manager. Sorry, guys. We should be here for a few minutes to watch this thing if it actually starts. Okay. Everything working then? Testing. Okay, we're back, guys. We're here only for a few minutes. What this is going to be is the secret ending theme to Chrono Cross, or the Chrono Trilogy. I'm hoping it somewhat wraps up Magus. It may just be notes for us, who knows. To watch it, we have to watch the credits. So enjoy the credits and the music. I'll try to talk over it so we don't get silenced. So as far as I can tell, in Radical Dreamers at least, turn on the music in my ears. No, other way. Jesus Christ. In Chrono, I guess in Radical Dreamers, what happened was there's two different timelines here. In timeline 1, in the timeline leads to the Chrono Cross, Magus takes on the Time Devourer and loses his memory and goes on to Beguile. And with that, he never sees himself as a kid and he never turns himself as Surge. Also, Lumix, who is Fate, comes back with the flame and decides that the best way to get the flame back once Surge accesses that flame is to puppet master Surge and doing his own things. Everybody's puppet mastering Surge. By the way, look, there's the flame in the background. And that's what happens for Chrono Cross. Now for this one's slightly different. In this one, Magus never fought the Dream Devourer, and thus never lost his memories. He's able to leave off from there. He's sad, he remembers he knows Kid is part of Scala probably. He knows what's going on. His whole hope is to get the Frozen Flame, either use it to correct things or to destroy it so no one else gets damaged or is damaged ever again. This is weird music, by the way. So from there, certain things have to happen for Surge, I guess, links to exist. So the whole back in time Surge thing had to happen. Chronopolis has to be back. The dinosaur place has to be back. Surge has to have not died in a timeline but been killed by his father / Lynx, assuming his father is Lynx still. And this is assuming this timeline isn't so far removed, it's a completely different timeline where Surge is a completely different person. The kid Surge still form a bond, sort of like she does in the other game. Or an even stronger bond. But assuming all that still happens, apparently during Link's time out trying to get Surge to be manipulated to come get the Frozen Flame, he finds the last Frozen Flame. This Frozen Flame handed down from Guardia down to Viper Man, which may still have it in the other Chrono Cross. We just never know. I don't hear music anymore. What's going on? Preview music. Okay. So Lynx takes over Viper Manor, destroys them all, except for Riddle, because Riddle is the person who may have last touched the flame and thus is part of the flame, just like when Surge touched the future flame. He became part of that flame. With Riddle being part of the flame, he kept her around just to not weaken the flame or upset it somehow. And his idea was he was going to get the time egg, which Gala had, which Luca had given Kid as a necklace, and use it to travel through time and to correct something in the past. Considering it's still Fate may be trying to do things to set things right, or Fate might be trying to do things, set things to where AI is the dominant thing. Who knows? She may be trying to stop all of Lavos' time crash. It's unclear. Of course, the ending of this game leaves off on a big continuation, like they expected other things to happen other than Chrono Cross. Lynx gets away. Kid dissolves in the background. Maggia leaves them, and Surge is left alone to grow old and have kids that look like him. Kids that look like him or something. Kids that are him, and they get together with a younger kid. I don't quite understand what happened at the end. My assumption is maybe Surge was reborn as his own grandchild, possibly. Maybe if Surge died before his grandchild was born, maybe rebirth happened, with Surge being sort of a Chrono Trigger-like character, and he was reborn to keep the time screen's capabilities open. And then Kid, being of course Scala, probably gets reborn each time she passes away as well, or is reversed by the time egg or something. And every time she dies, she just reverses or something. Maybe in her old age, she reversed back into a young kid, and they became friends. Now the question would, because Kid was his friend. The question would be, I guess, down the range, is eventually would the Surge in Chrono Cross be the son of all these other Surges? Maybe the son of the Surge and Kid. And so, would Kid forming a relationship with the third Surge may be wrong if she's also like a grandma to him? How does that work? Probably be wrong. I don't know how long these credits are, dudes. I'm sorry. What we have now is 3 different timelines. Actually, a bunch of different timelines. The Lavos timeline where everything died. The Surge lives and Surge dies timeline. The timeline where Chronopolis was destroyed by Lavos and then erased by Fate. The timeline where the Reptites won because Lavos never fell. The timeline where Chronopolis exists in the future and before the time crash ever happened, and the time crash didn't happen in his past. All the ending timelines. Of course, the main timeline, which is the time travel timeline. Time travel and Surge Lives timeline, I believe, counts as the main now. Looks like this might be the end of whatever we're watching. Cryware. All Chrono Cross and Radical Dreamers try from staff. Blah blah blah. I better get my my message here, boys. I'm gonna poop myself. Square Enix. You make good games. You used to make really good games, like games that were magical. And you still make good games, but bring back this kind of magic. Or bring back this kind of magic. Give us another Chrono. The time was near. This is it. The final battle awaited. There alone in the shadows, the man lingered. His partners, a young man and a young woman, had already made the preparations and were waiting for him at the place they had agreed upon. Their foe was a fearsome opponent indeed. Who would the three of them be able to defeat him? There was only one way to find out. All the better. What fun is a battle whose outcome is all but certain. So text-based it is, I see. The man reached a hand to his mask, silver and embellished, save for a few subtle details. It had been many long years since he last revealed his face. Did he wear the mask to hide himself from others? Is this going to be Guile or Mago? Or did he wear it to hide it from himself? And if so, does Guile have his memories then? Enough time had passed that not even he was sure anymore. But it didn't matter now. The end was coming, an end to everything. Soon his long days of wandering would be over. Soon too would the girl's ill-fated, fleeting existence. How many years had passed? How many centuries? How much love and prayer? How much hatred and rancor? How much despair and resignation had slowly and silently fallen over him, piling up like snow. God, is it going to be a bad ending for freaking Magus? Poor Magus. On that fated day long, long ago, everything that he was had vanished, faded away into nothingness. Without so much as a whimper, there was nothing he could have done to stop it. But one memory stayed with him, even after everything else fell away. One unforgettable image. The kingdom of wind was forever lost. Those blessed days in paradise above the clouds. That face, her gentle, bittersweet smile. Perhaps his time behind the mask was coming to an end. His icy gaze seemed to thaw for a moment, and then he sprang to action. The moonlight flashed across the mask's surface. His silvery hair flowed behind him, reaching out like the tail of a comet. The time had come to a faded star, the king had returned. With that, he vanished into the darkness. Though a life may end, a story lives on. Not forever, perhaps, but what's eternity compared to this moment in time? And what kind of ending was that? That doesn't give us any closure. Mother. It was good. It was good. I liked it. It was a good little read. But honestly, no closure. Okay, so what I understood there, Magus, over there, Mr. Guile, was talking about the end of everything. The end of Lavos, maybe the end of Chrono Cross, or maybe far into the future of Radical Dreamers. It's unclear. It could have just been another freaking timeline. But he's talking about taking off his mask and talking about meeting with people, I guess, in Kid and Surge, and talking about his sister. But it didn't actually wrap up anything. You know, it was good. I don't want to say it was bad. It was good. I loved it. Awesome games. Actually, Deck-Based Adventure was a lot funner than I thought it would be. I mean, I've played them before, but this one was actually really good. Probably because I'm invested in the storyline. Kinda wish that the extra thing would have wrapped up something with Magus, but at least we are now know that Guile knows he's Magus. I don't know how he regained his memory after the Dream Eater, but that's for another time. Maybe one day we'll get closure. I can see it now. The new game's called Chrono Crash. Chrono Crush. I think Chrono Crash would be cool. Where all the worlds, all the different realities that soak this timeline, these storylines, every ending to every game, all three games, intertwine with each other. And in the center is the bad ending to Chrono Cross, where Surge becomes Lavos, apparently. That's what I read. Surge combined with Lavos and becomes what he thinks. Maybe he thinks he's like a protector of the world, or he thinks he's like a god to them now. And he's the one who sets in motion the reality crash in an attempt to keep all realities under his control, under his protection. And people have to stop him because he's unknowingly like a dumb god, killing people and destroying reality in the process. And of course, good Surge will exist because that reality will be there. Good Link Surge will exist as the leader of Marvel because that will be there. Guile, Magus Guile, and Magil Guile. Oh, sorry. Guile Magus and Magil Magus will both exist. We'll have all the characters from here, characters from Chrono Trigger, different Chrono Trigger ending, world features. That would be a cool game. I like to see that. Something special from Square Enix. I haven't felt a lot of special come from Square Enix that wasn't playing an old game I used to like. I mean, the last Final Fantasy with Emo Prince was probably the best Final Fantasy I've played since FF10. But it still wasn't that special for them. I haven't felt this special connection with the storyline from Square since Final Fantasy X. And that includes 10, 2, 11, 12 on. I've never felt the special connection again. It's been forever since I've had that kind of connection with a Square Enix game. I miss that kind of connection. This was the golden era of Square. PS1 was the golden era of Square. We need it to come back. We need that kind of golden thought, that kind of good thinking to come back, even if it is just in a sequel to Sting. I have felt that actually once before, once again. And it's because it brought me back. Final Fantasy VII Remake made me feel that way because it brought me back to the Final Fantasies I loved. It was nostalgic to the golden era while giving us something new. And I think that a third Chrono Cross could do that for us if they run it the right way. I don't think Chrono Cross would do good in a live action sequence because it's a Chrono series. Well, the original Chrono had a semi-live counter on it if you want to play with it. But if Chrono Crash or Chrono whatever Part 3 came out, I would eat it up. As long as it was done really good, I'd be so happy. It would need a good amount of characters, a good amount of endings, and a good wrap-up on the main ending. A good wrap-up for Guile, a good wrap-up for Surge. We need Guile to get back with Kid, and we need to get Guile to get back with Kid/Skala. Skid, whatever the hell you want to call her. We need all the other characters with little threaded things tied up. Surge can maybe end up with his little blonde girl either on the left or with, redhead girlie on the left with the blonde girl on the bottom. Who knows? Seems to have a thing for both of them. She has a thing for all of him. It'd be nice. Now, before we go, I'm going to try and look up the endings to all the things. To the thing. Okay. All endings to Radical Dreamer text adventure. I want the guide, I just don't know what it is. Let's throw us into it. The normal ending. It occurs if no alternate ending happens before, i.e. the one mentioned below. Caught between love and adventure. Head on to meet Link as soon as possible, then go to Riddle's room for the ending to activate. This one doesn't tell me anything. Okay, let's see what this tells me. Hey, I want to play all the endings here. I'm not going to play them all, of course. This will be our last Chrono Cross, by the way. I enjoyed the frick out of this game. Maybe if I get a hand on a way to play Chrono Trigger on one of my devices, we'll play it. It may be on the phone. And we'll play through it and give you a taste of the past, so what everything that happened before this, what it all means. You'll get to look into Magus, knowing who Magus is, and Chrono knowing the future that it holds, and Lavos knowing exactly where he's going to end up in the future. Oh, Jesus Christ, no. I just want to know what the good endings and what the endings are, for its sake. Oh, this is Chrono Cross. No, not Chrono Cross. Oh, we found a Chrono Cross Indian post. Thank goodness. Elite Tresor intended a bittersweet resolution. When Chrono was killed in the Ocean Palace and Zil fell during the events of Chrono Trigger, scholars survived the incident and felt responsible for the destruction of Chrono. She became gravely distraught and only desired to die. The flame tried to lava the king from control the crash which had been interred with the memory machine lay near her. Fulfilling her wish, they subsequently scattered her memories and ensured with them. Consider 1,000 years through time to the modern era. In the interim, the frozen flame was presumably held at a kingdom of Thardia, and she probably fell around the time that Scala was introduced into the modern era. There, the infant was adopted by Luca and named Kid. Luca gave a time egg for safety from that she grew up. Luca also told Kid about the frozen flame, a powerful artifact that she wanted to bury with a fallen combat symbol, which I'm assuming is going to be Chrono, from when he eventually actually dies from the Guardian Wars. Or they said this could be from Chrono, who wasn't revived after his death in the Radical Dream that's mentioned. It's mentioned here that the great division and timeline here could be that Chrono was never revived. It could be either one. The aristocrat meets in a different land called Visible. Oh wait, this is different. It's just like telling us people. Just telling us stupid people are in a different land called Visible. A governor named General Viper, real name Cylinder, presided over the bridge in Outlands. So in this one, Scala was never really given to Lavos. It was weird. But probably because Lavos is never fully defeated by Chrono. Oh, I'm doing this. Viper had many successes in combat and eventually came into possession of the Flame, presumably after the fall of Guardia. One day, the powerful aristocrat Link, the returned to general life for Noodle. Came to save the manor. He orchestrated a violent coup with the aid of unnamed mentioned buff that resulted in the slaughter of countless nation of their humans and their still in jail. His mind degenerated into insanity. Things proceeded to forcibly port Riddle and enlist a fearful group of demons to defend the manor. From incursions. The reasons unknown, he murdered Luca. He then murdered Luca, probably in an attempt to get the planet. So, Lynx, we don't know exactly in this world how he came to be. Lynx is, in Chrono was a mutation of Surge's father, so it might still be something similar to that. But because this timeline is so far removed from the actual Chrono Cross timeline, it may be something different. He may be somebody different, mutated, and maybe of a fate again. Kid, around 10 at the time, was infuriated and pursued Lynx to the manor, where she tried to get revenge on him. She would have been killed if not had not a mysterious man named Magil whisked her away. In truth, this was Magus in disguise, who apparently learned the fate of Scala in 12,000 BC, and returned to the modern era to watch over his sister as Kid. Magil cared for her over the next few years as Kid grew up in school of hard knocks and developed a taste for theater. Meanwhile, a young musician named Serge, struggling to survive in life as a drifter. When Kid was around 13, she and Magil came upon Serge in Rigoria, and the three united to form the Radical Dreamers, the most famous thieves in the world. So the next, which those thieves, Kid has them, also exist in the Chrono Cross. But Guile, who is Magil, Magus, is not part of them. For the next 3 years, they began ripping off the wealthy, blah blah blah, gold still filled with flame. Revelation of this, Legend of this. Okay, Magil, caught between love and adventure. So it's believed, before this, believed in the rain ending. The rain we got that Magil leaves to watch over Kid. Now that she's learned her past about Scala, and we'll know that Magus is her brother. So they get to be together there. That's good. Maybe. Magil caught between love and adventure. This scenario can be accessed by following a seat, following Kid, examining the desk in the study, and then entering Riddle's room. Magil, in reality, is a name named Gilbert, who is pined. Wait, what's this? This makes it way different. Magil, in reality, is a man named Gilbert, who pined for Riddle all his life. He and Riddle exchanged their affections, but Riddle recoils when Gilbert asks about their marriage vows made some time ago in the Garden of Manor. As she softens up to him once more, her servant Noel comes in and reveals that Riddle is assigned to suitor. Gilbert is wounded by this and struggles to convince Riddle to go with him. The maid is alarmed by Kid's insistence on playing the frozen flame, alerts the guards. Riddle knows that someday Gilbert may return and be friends. Gilbert will have none of this and throws Riddle over his shoulder as he defeats the guards. As Radical Dreamers and Riddle reach the courtyard and occupants of the manor emerge to bid them farewell. Lynx the father bride tears up. Gilbert points the morning sun and notes that this hour frozen flame. So, pretty kind of ending is that. Kid and the Sunflower. This scenario can be made by falling asleep and checking out the sound of the woods. The Radical Dreamers pursue a golden beetle and get sidetracked in the forest. The lecherous Sunflower taunts Kid, who slashes at it several times while Magus tries to remember what the type of sunflower is called. Representative is called a Mandora monster and that one should not try to cut it down. It soon grows to enormous size and enwraps Kid. After the dust settles, it is revealed that the Mandora monster has fused with Kid's upper body. The Kid will die by consumption from her own hatred if the monster is not stopped. Magil notes that the only way to separate her from the anger is to live love. He begins making preparations. A troop of goblins arrive to deal with the situation. Fires a hyper magic cannon at Kid. It has no effects, and Kid begins an incantation as Magil rushes out to Surge. He gives Surge a white jewel and casts levitation spell on him as Kid evaporates the hyper manner shit. Surge, in a fit of rage, knocks off Magil's mask, taken back by his sheer beauty. Magil slaps him back into reality and tells him to kiss Kid. He knows that if it doesn't work, Surge must plant the knife in Kid, and her soul will be transferred to it. One of three things may happen. If Surge kisses Kid, the result is Kid reverting back to her normal body. The monster is reduced to seed with 1 billion gold. However, Kid destroys it in anger anyway, and physically abuses Surge for kissing her. Nonetheless, the dreamers are thankful to be alive. If Surge stabs Kid, the result is Kid's soul becoming trapped in the jewel. He is now faced with a decision which new host body to occupy. Magil recommends to occupy a Lavos host. Break, that would lead them to Chrono Cross. The third ending here is Kid stabs Surge. The result in Surge's soul becoming trapped in his own night jewel. Magil and Kid carry him around and inform him that he must choose the host. Surge is merely glad that Kid is okay, however. Super Extreme Owl Focomos Police Case EX Ultra the Brick. Who got hold of this sword waiting for the extra endings? This is by far the most random and hilarious scenario in the game. Please note that the summary here cannot even begin to scratch the surface of the jokes scattered about throughout this scenario's dialogue. To access it, follow the seat, follow Kid, and check out the painting in the study of the Martian landscape. Upon viewing the painting, Magil is enraged with fury and his body temperature elevates a few degrees. The symbol burns itself into his hand, and he knows the radical dreamers will no longer have to worry about doors. He proceeds to pry the door handle to the study, and the dreamers head to the treasure. Magil is amazed at the random junk from various planets held there, while Kid humiliates the assistant director who's filming the scene after he knocks... Oh shit, I was reading that. Filming the scene as he knocks over some equipment. The trio then spot the frozen flame at the head of the room. It turns out to be a hologram. The image is deactivated when a short Oriental man trips over the power cord off stage. Kid demands an Evian, bottle of mineral water, really. And then the three depart the treasury. They head to the storeroom where they discover a huge wall of illuminated panel and circuitry. Kid finds a refrigerator-sized box, though Magil notes that they haven't been hidden yet, and a robot emerges from it. It begins shooting at the three of them with Gatling guns, and Magil delivers a flying kick that immediately shatters the machine. She wonders how Magil knew its name, a Bait Diva Mars. The three exit and descend the stairs. There, a wall of light encircles them. Magil asks Kid for a trinket she picked off the ruined machine from earlier, and notes that it is a Martian Forest League Council Lesser Unlimited body. It is much more than a simple toy. They use it to deactivate the food force field and then descend the stairs to find Links. Magil disappears and soon makes a flashing entrance wearing a rock star attire. A guitar, a portable amp. Link can't take his guitar playing and his body cracks to reveal green tentacles. Soon the remains of Link's body are scattered, and a Minoculus named Martian, conjured by Magil, stands before the party. Magil boasts of finding the enemy, whom he's tried to detain for 500 years, and reveals that he is the Universal Detective Mick Manjovi. Link's laments that they crashed the ship on the planet, and that it took 500 years to repair its fusion center. The frozen flame... Oh, the fusion center, the frozen flame. Magil, Mick, dons heavy armor and attempts to subjugate the beast. The Lynx causes boulders to rain down upon the party in the cavern. One traps Mick, who is a stretched search to use the armament bunny on Lynx. The explosion destroys the ship, but Lynx escapes using a pedal-powered escape pod. Mick knows that they won't get very far, and the of them vow to continue search tomorrow. There's like some freaking Konami joke shit going on this one. What the hell? Homecoming Shield Light. Why does Shield sound familiar? To activate the scenario, fall asleep and see about the light in the infants of Life for Manor. As the radical dreamers, how do you even fall asleep? I don't remember a scenario where I could fall asleep. As the radical dreamers enter the mansion, Surge notices a strange light. Oh, excuse me, sleepy time. It turns out to be Phantom of a woman tattered in clothes. The apparition knows that they have finally come. The trio dismiss the ghost as unimportant to their mission, and head to the Manor's cathedral. Magil observes that the candles are arranged to cast shadows on the floor in accordance with the occult teachings. The cathedral is meant to define order and other unholy practices. Surge soon finds a secret passageway by pressing down an organ trees. The layout mirrors the cathedral above, though it is empty. The radical dreamers explore other areas of the manor. Kid finds a blue robe in unused quarters and mentions the name Shia, or Shay, or it might be Shay. They continue to explore the manor, eventually arriving at the coordinate room that houses the Purple Flame. However, it is held within the grasp of a lifeless mannequin with platinum plating. Oh, this is horror, dude. What the hell? Additionally, the mannequin is separated at the far sea. Kid and Surge direct bamboo scaffolding to reach the siren, and Kid pilfers the flame. However, on the way back, the siren comes to life and the ocean begins violently tossing. Kid falls into the sea. A needle projectile is driven between the eyes of the siren by Magil. There's no effect. Surge dives into the water to save him. Meanwhile, waterlogged corpses float up and begin moving towards him. With all his might, he makes it to the shore with Kid, who has the flame in hand. The radical dreamers head to the terrace, but realize they're going to be going in circles. The walls are slightly warped, which form the illusion. Kid becomes angry at the trick and shouts a challenge to Lynx. The three realize the futility of going on and turn back to the manor. They enter Lynx's quarters and find his rotting corpse beneath the shroud. On closer inspection, Magil finds that the corpse has not been done to crumble, meaning the Lynx spirit has not departed the mansion. Excuse me, guys. As the three structures of the house begin to fluctuate, an image of She appears again, only to become a giant hand again. A hand emerging from the mirror. Magil parries the hand, but soon the frozen flame begins to radiate and Kid is locked under a spell. Magil again comes to color to rescue his kid's spell, reduces Kid to a pale color, however. The three exit Lynx's quarters and head back to the cathedral. On the way, Magil reveals the details about She. An orphanage child was brought up in a temple called Temple of the Four Spirits. The blue robe in the Hispanic quarters earlier was the official congregational uniform for his sisters. One day, Shay was summoned to Viber Manor by Lynx and did not return. Kid would escape the temple to find out her fate. As she neared the manor, she looked back to her village to find it engulfed in flames, which is a lot like what happened to her actual orphanage in Chrono. The temple is in ruins. As she cleaned the cinders, Magil found her and took her under his wing. She did not speak again until a year after. Still, a year had passed. Holy cow. I can't speak at all. This is like opening up widely different timelines here, by the way. The radical dreamers finally reached the cathedral and entered this secret room. There, the magic seal on the floor radiates, and Lynx appears in the display of light. Lynx speaks with Kid, who returns the frozen flame and insists he was murdered by an assassin, and is barely able to secure his spirit inside the frozen flame. Faye then appears, claiming that the magic seal on the ground was intended to gel Lynx's spirit, and that with each person's soul he devours, he becomes closer to breaking the seal. She reveals that in order to stay connected to the realm, Lynx has the person go from evil magic to sacrifice a blood relative. Shay, the illegitimate daughter of Lynx, revealed this when she came to the manor years ago. She instructs Magil by destroying the frozen flame with magic and killing Lynx in the process. Magil smiles and begins chanting. Surge blacks out as the magic takes effect. He wakes up nearly 24 hours later, finding Kid's body held close to him. Magil passed out from the far well. They were drained by the process of destroying the flame, but the deed is done. Lynx is dead and the Piper Manor is at peace. Huh. The enigmatic Higa weapon. Paradise X. To activate this scenario, follow Kid, enter the storeroom, try to enter the vault. Inquire about the key in Lynx's quarters, and as soon as you receive the key, immediately return to Lynx's quarters and pursue the wall. The radical dreamers spot a hole in the wall in the mirror whispers. They try to reproduce the hole in the real world, but to no avail until Kid tickles it with a quill pin. The wall crumbles to dust, and adventurers step through. They observe the stone slab with the crystal embedded in the center. Before they can judge what is inscribed on it, Surge and Kid are thrown into the illusionary world by a mage named Gange. They are thrust into a coliseum and transform. Kid becomes a Cyclops, Surge becomes a gladiator. After fighting for a while, Magil interrupts the fight, and Surge and Kid revert to female forms. Radical dreamers continue exploring and eventually reach Lynx in the lower area of the manor. There he calls for Mechalinx, a huge silk-legged robot. Gange appears to the party and offers assistance in the form of a lethal weapon, Paradise X. The radical dreamers accept, and Paradise X appears to do battle with Mega Lynx. As Surge, Kid, and Magil look on from the ground, Paradise X struggles against Lynx with cannot track his armor. No other option, Magio calls for Paradise X's ultimate attack. Then, Pearl Blast. He scorches Lynx and explodes his robot. Afterwards, the dreamers find the frozen flame. Gaines transfers his life force over to the new Close Crystal. The party set out to find more interesting jewels. The Shadow Realm. Oh god, we're going to Yu-Gi-Oh here. The cause of death. Play scenario. Fall asleep, follow Kid, and examine the bookshelf to study. Here, the radical dreamers find the Book of the Dead. Which bookshelf no study? This is the bookshelf. Nigel opens it, and a gust of wind rushes out to his home and exits the study. The party finds that the book is blank, and Kid jokingly writes a note telling Lynx to buy the other books. The radical dreamers exit the ballroom. There, the door shuts behind them. After finding a blood red rose on the floor, they view a scene of ghosts in tuxedos gowns dancing across the room, and after Chris claims that they were ghosts, the phantom shrieks and disappear. The woman descends in front of Serge, introducing herself as Lilith, the goddess of death, the servant of the Shadow Realm. She notes that she took on the appearance of Riddell in her latest hunt. The Lynx has been killed. The spirits follow and finally to the frozen flame. Apparently, Kid's signing Link's name in the Book of the Dead provided Lilith the target. Oh, wait, the frick, have we just entered a certain anime? She forms a scythe in her hand and shatters the flame, making permanent her transition to the civil world process. Afterwards, she materializes the soul contract and hands it to Kid in expectance of a new target. Before Kid can react, Nigel appears and Lilith reveals he is a shadow hunter. He states that it has been several hundred years since Lilith has terrorized the world, and that she will return to the Shadow Realm immediately. Lilith cackles and slices Kid, whose soul begins to form above her chest. Nigel becomes a shadow in retaliation and wraps around Lilith. He then ignites a huge blaze and seemingly kills her. However, after he stamps out the remaining fire, Lilith ambushes him from behind. Kid's soul televises into the new frozen flame, while Magil declares he will take Lilith back to the Shadow Realm himself. The two disappear as Magil admonishes Serge to save Kid. Serge stands over the frozen flame, and his tears fall upon it. His teeth crystallizes and slowly turns to her. He explains what happened after returning home. He and Kid live together and eventually set out on doom adventures. Mitchell's fate remains unknown. That was a whole bunch of what the fuck. That is the end. That is several weird ass endings to Radical Dreamers, and that is the end of the Chrono Cross series. We're at the end, guys. This will be the last 2 episodes I upload to the series tonight. I hope y'all had a good time watching it, reading it, playing it. If y'all want your own experience, if y'all want to try and get the other endings, seek it out yourself on PlayStation, Xbox, wherever the hell it's on. I think it's on Switch for that matter. Tomorrow morning we will not be playing, but tomorrow... Is there a person at my door? Oh. No one's strange. So, anyway, tomorrow morning we will not be playing because I have early morning work. Tomorrow evening we'll likely come in and do something, but that is a maybe. It is a maybe, likely, it is not a guarantee. And I hope to see y'all tomorrow evening. If not, I hope to see you, probably Friday morning after that. Because after that, Friday morning, I'll be waking myself up early Friday morning to play Fortnite for you guys and get through on that. I hope y'all have a good night. I hope y'all have a good week. If I don't see y'all on Friday, peace out, guys.